Her mother looked me in the eye and said, "She's carrying twins, but not yours. Let's not make this messier. We'll wire $5 million to your account by morning. Just sign the papers and disappear." I didn't argue. I smiled. "Congratulations," I said. Then I signed the divorce papers, shook her father's hand, and walked out of that mansion like a man who just sold an old painting. He never wanted to frame again. "Hi, my name is Miles Weston, and I don't shout when I lose. I walk." A week later, I was on a flight to Lisbon. No headlines, no announcements, just distance and silence. I let them tell the version of the story they preferred that I'd been paid off, pushed aside, forgotten. Let her prepare for her wedding. Let him enjoy his victory lap. Let her family believe they had purchased my quiet. What no one bothered to question was why I signed so fast. No one noticed the nurse I tipped at the hospital. No one noticed the DNA test I submitted quietly, just 2 hours after she finally admitted the affair. Timing matters when truth is involved. While they were finalizing vows and posing over cake samples, the envelope I'd scheduled arrived precisely when it needed to. She opened it and screamed. The sound ripped through the rehearsal hall like a microphone hitting the floor. Laughter died mid-breath. The violinist froze. Her sister dropped her champagne glass. She stood there in an ivory-fitting gown, clutching the envelope as if it were burning her skin, the paper trembling between her fingers. "Is this some kind of joke?" She snapped at her FIANC a cute dot. He blinked, confused, muttering nonsense. But her mother was already marching toward them, heels striking the floor like gunshots, demanding explanations. I wasn't there to give any. I was already in Porto, sipping espresso at a rooftop cafe overlooking the Douro River, when my phone buzzed. A familiar number. I answered and stayed silent. "Miles, what the hell is this?" Her voice was frantic, unraveling. "The truth," I said evenly. "You had no right." "I had every right. I was your husband. You turned me into a lie. I just corrected the record. You think you're clever." She hissed. "No." I replied, "I think you're predictable." Her family had paid for silence, not closure. But I never needed their money. I only needed timing. And now that the cracks had formed, they'd realize I hadn't disappeared quietly. I left with intent. They tried to salvage the rehearsal. The music even started again, but the air had changed. Whispers traveled faster than champagne refills. Bridesmaids clustered together, glued to their phones. The best man hovered near the exit, and the groom, the supposed father of her twins, looked sick, pale, scrolling through messages like a man searching for a lifeboat while the ship tilted. Because the DNA report didn't say the twins were mine. It said they belonged to no one in that room. Not me. Not him. She hadn't lied once. She'd lied twice. And when betrayal stacks on betrayal, even loyalty starts doing math. I never leaked the report to the press. I didn't have to. Her mother did it for me when she forwarded the wrong email to her attorney. From there, it spread. Screenshots reached tabloids within hours. By morning, headlines screamed, "Reese fairytale wedding collapses after secret DNA revelation." I stayed in Portugal, one hand around my coffee cup, one foot tapping along with a street violinist across the square. I never asked for revenge. But if they were going to erase me from the story, I decided to rewrite the ending myself. The wedding was officially postponed, and the tabloids went wild. They speculated about everything: fertility fraud, hidden surrogates, even celebrity lookalikes. The truth was far simpler and far uglier. She didn't know who the father was because she'd been sleeping with 3 men during our marriage. None of them me. None of them each other. One was a nightclub investor. One was her family's financial advisor. The third parked cars at her favorite spa. She didn't just betray me. She vandalized a legacy. The man who was supposed to marry her vanished the next morning. No statement. No interviews. Just a deleted Instagram and a red-eye flight out of the country. Her family was left drowning in a public relations disaster. That's when my phone rang again. This time, it was her father. Miles, he said, his voice rough, stripped of authority. We made a mistake. You made several. I want to fix this. I laughed softly. You think this is still a negotiation? A pause. What do you want? I finished my drink. I want the company your daughter thought she'd inherit, and I want it clean. He didn't argue, didn't bargain, just asked, and if we give it to you? I walk away, I said. No interviews, no statements, no more tests. He exhaled slowly, the sound of a man calculating the cost of humiliation. The company was old money real estate. Logistics, land development modernized on the surface, but still ruled by whispers and handshakes. His daughter was meant to inherit it. I was supposed to be the distraction she married along the way, and now I was the only one untouched by scandal. The DNA leak poisoned everything. Investors panicked. Stakeholders demanded answers. His daughter became a liability overnight. Me? I was clean. I waited. Finally, he nodded. I'll have the papers prepared. You'll own 100%. Her name comes off everything. I stood. You're doing the right thing. He didn't respond. 2 days later, I signed the transfer in a silent boardroom. No cameras, no celebration, just ink, initials, and finality. That night, my ex-wife called. You win, she whispered. I wasn't smiling. This had never been about winning. It was about never being erased again. The press tried to keep the fire alive. Headlines shifted from her affairs to wild theories about me, why I left, why I returned, how I suddenly controlled a multi-generational empire. I stayed silent. Silence is loud when people know it's deliberate. Inside the company, I moved fast. I rebuilt leadership, removed every executive she had vouched for, shifted operations online, sold off outdated assets her father clung to out of pride instead of logic. Within 60 days, we posted our strongest first quarter in 5 years. But that wasn't what unsettled them. What rattled them was the name change. The company shed her family's name and took mine, W and Sons, not because I had children, but because one day I would and they'd inherit something forged through survival, not scandal. She sent one last message, one sentence. You don't get to rewrite history. I read it once, then deleted it. History belongs to the people who were never meant to make it past the opening chapter. Her family tried one final move, an emergency injunction. They claimed manipulation, falsified DNA, emotional coercion. It was weak, predictable. They weren't trying to win. They were trying to stall. I was ready. My lawyers filed within 24 hours. A counterclaim, airtight, time-stamped, witnessed, supported by private records they never knew I kept, conversations, payments, her signatures approving the very terms they now called coercion. The judge reviewed everything, adjusted her glasses, and asked her attorney one question. Are you prepared to be countersued for defamation under oath? The case was dismissed that afternoon. I didn't celebrate. I loosened my tie, stepped outside the courthouse, and let the sun hit my face for the first time in years. They wanted me erased. Instead, they'd spend the rest of their lives passing my name. A year later, the company stood stronger than ever. W and Sons became known not for revenge, but resilience. We launched housing projects in underserved areas, partnered with clean infrastructure startups, and quietly funded scholarships under names no one recognized except me. The nurse who helped me secure that first DNA swab. The friend who helped me disappear when I needed space. The attorney who believed me when no one else did. I never chased recognition. I chased correction. One crisp autumn morning, I walked into the same cafe where she once sat with her fiancé. New owners. No trace of them. Only memory. As I paid, the barista looked up. You're him, right? From the articles? I smiled slightly. Depends what they said. He grinned. That you didn't lose everything. You just took the long way to something better. I nodded, because it was true. I never needed to destroy her. She managed that herself. All I did was stand still long enough for the truth to catch up.